Hey guys, welcome to my introduction to my trading card game that I've been working on and off since January of this year. So a little bit about sort of the origin of this game. Back in 2014, I had an idea for a video game called it didn't have a name actually, but the idea was you controlled a human and they had sort of like a monster pet that they would use to fight. And you would control the human and monster at the same time. And basically, the human could buff the monster, it could level up in battle and become more powerful. And basically, the idea would be to become more powerful than your opponent, then just defeat him. But that game never really came through to anything because I don't have any programming experience or anything. My cat's in the background there, if you couldn't tell. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Anyway, flash forward to 2016, and I was just browsing on YouTube, and I figured I'd look up trading card games because I haven't, thought about them for a while. And I found the homemade trading card game community on YouTube. I guess that's what they call themselves anyway. But it sort of lit a spark, you could say, and it kind of inspired me, kind of sort of to turn the old video game idea into a card game. And I have called this game, well, the tentative title, I might change in the future right now, is Monsters from the Other Realm. And there's a story behind this game. Basically, there's a parallel dimension, or realm, parallel to the human world, and it's in constant struggle and war because all the monsters have, different ideologies, different ideas of how things should be run and what things should be protected, etc. So, and the war's been going on since, the dawn of time for the monsters. But one day, a portal between the human and monster realms open up. And the monsters can then travel to the human world, but they find out that because it's not their home realm, that they're sort of in this devolved state, not their normal selves. And they also can't stay there permanently. They're sort of transported back after a time. However, humans, through some reasoning or another, have special sort of powers over these monsters. And these humans, if these sort of monsters, sort of, I don't want to say like attach themselves to them, but I don't know, somehow they sort of link between each other, and the monsters can then stay in the human realm in this devolved state. And some monsters recruit some humans to help them in their sort of struggle against each other, because the humans, just like my old video game idea, can sort of bring out the potential of the monsters. So the overall game idea here is that you are represented by a human card, such as Timmy here, for example, and the objective of the game is to protect your human card from taking damage using your monster allies. And in return, you're supposed to fight your opponent and defeat their human card, and that's how you win the game. Because as you can see, human cards here have a health value. Timmy here is 18. Once that goes to 0, whoever owns that card loses. That's pretty simple. So, for the overall design of this game, there's definitely a focus on monster cards in this first set, at least. Because, you sort of play these monsters like Jacko here, who I consider the unofficial mascot, currently anyway, because he's the first monster I ever thought up for the original video game, and I sort of brought him back for the card game. But, and basically let me catch myself back up here, because I have 1,000 thoughts going in my head at once. Okay, so you have your human card, and that's represented by you. Sort of recap here, and then you have your monster card, and sort of the way this works is you have your human card, and then you can play your monster cards, and then you can sort of level them up using something called XP, which I'll get into in a little bit, I believe. And you can also use these things called effect cards over here to sort of have different effects, hence the name. And one of the biggest things about this game, besides, the monsters themselves, is that they can evolve. As I said, they come to our world in a devolved state. As you can see, Jacko here is level 1. But he can turn into Spooko, who's his evolved form. And some monsters only evolve once, and then they're done. But some monsters also don't evolve at all. But Spooko here, Jacko and Spooko here, can actually evolve 2 times, and those are the level 3 monsters, and those are generally the most powerful. Like Repor here, who is very messy, because I'm using index cards to sort of write my ideas down. Because I figured it'd be best to sort of get all my ideas out on paper first, before I really, go on computer work or anything like that. So yeah, let me see my notes here. Another thing that I kind of want to talk about here, if you'll excuse the sudden camera movement here, is that I also want to focus on sort of how cards are placed on the field. So your human card would always be in play right here. And basically you have a few different zones in the game. So first off, you would always have an active zone, just sort of represented up here. Sort of imagine something here. And in your active zone, you have 3 other sort of subzones. One is an attacker zone that is always here. And then you also have 2 support zones here, next to your attacking zone. If you've ever played Fossil Fighters, this will seem very, very familiar. And if you've never played Fossil Fighters, what's wrong with you? I'm just kidding. But so as you can see, there's a few different things about the monster cards that sort of hint towards this. For example, every card has a support. If they're in the support zone, then their support effect is activated. So for example, Fuzzwuzz here, his support is when he's in the support zone, the opposing attack zone monster, so your opponent's, has 1 less damage. That's the damage value right here. And most level 1 cards have like 1 or 2, mostly anyway, in some circumstances. And you also have a thing called bonuses. Now bonuses are activated when you have at least 2 of the same faction monster here. So the skull here is represented by Chaotix, and the Chaotix monsters are all about evolving really quickly. That's their sort of play style. So their bonuses, when you control at least 2, all Chaotix monsters on your side of the field gain +1 XP at the end of your turn. I suppose I'll go into XP here. As you can see, next level 2 XP. How do you earn that? Well, when a monster attacks an opposing monster, they gain 1 XP if an attack lands, which it will land most of the time, unless it deals 0 damage, in which case you won't get any. That's sort of like, you can represent that however you want on the card, put a penny on there, or something else. And you also get one if you kill a card. So say you attack Fuzzwuzz here, you'll gain 1. If it also KOs Fuzzwuzz, you also get another one, so that'd be 2. That's based on the level. So for example, if you KO'd a level 2 monster, that would be 3. If you KO'd a level 3 monster, that would be 4. Because you get 1 for the attack and 3 for the level. If that makes any sense. And once you get enough XP, whenever you get enough XP, you can immediately play the card. Unless you're in a battle, I think. I'm perfecting the rules and such. So I don't know. Is there anything else I want to talk about here? I don't know. There's a lot of information I kind of want to put in here, but I also don't want to make this too long, so I suppose I'll quickly go over the effect cards I have here. So first off, we have action effect cards, such as Meteor Shower here, deal 1 damage to all active monsters. So, not bad. That's also the cost, and I'll sort of trying to figure out how the cost will work, because I just want you to be able to free play cards whenever you want, so I don't know. Actually, you have equipment cards, which go onto monsters, obviously. And then, they gain that effect. And finally, you also have battlefield cards, which always stay in play unless removed. And they always give you a passive thing you can activate. So, pretty cool. And I'll sort of give you a view of these cards here. I have a lot more made and planned. These are just the ones I have so far. Zoom out here. As I said, these index cards are sort of for play testing purposes and getting ideas out. I am planning on not using this art style. I am planning on actually creating some art. And I actually have some art here I can show you real quick to prove I'm not BSing you. So here's Jacko here. And then here's his actual art that I have made. So you can kind of see he's a Jack-in-the-Box with a pumpkin head. Okay, that's hair. I was like, what is that? and there's Spooko, and then finally there's Repour, just as an example. I think these better represent what I'm trying to do with the game. Kind of, sort of, I don't know. I like this look with the colored pencils, with the pen outline. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much it for my introduction to the card game here. Card fell on the floor. Let me know if you have any questions and if you're interested in seeing more, because I have a lot more I can show you guys. Now, there's a lot of stuff I didn't catch on, didn't allude to in this video. And, sorry if I kind of sound like nervous or anything. I don't know. It's just the way I talk, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me, again, as I said, have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you're interested in seeing more, also let me know. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. See you soon.